This video is presented by the VATSIM Washington, D.C. ARTCC. It is not intended for use in any real-world aviation instruction. Welcome to an overview of VFR Tower Operations. In this video, we will discuss the parts of a local traffic pattern, basic VFR arrival and departure procedures, and sequencing VFR and IFR traffic. First, we must understand what a local traffic pattern is. A traffic pattern is a standard path for aircraft that wish to remain in visual contact with an airfield. This is primarily used for aircraft practicing landings and takeoffs. A traffic pattern consists of 5 parts or legs, which include the upwind, crosswind, downwind, base, and final. Typically, aircraft will enter at a 45-degree angle on the downwind leg. The direction of turns an aircraft will make depends if the traffic pattern is left or right traffic, also called standard or non-standard. Standard turns are to the left, as this is the side of the aircraft where the pilot typically sits. Non-standard traffic patterns are right turns. To determine what direction a traffic pattern is for a certain runway, check the airport's chart supplement. If the direction is not stated, it is assumed to be standard or left traffic. VFR aircraft arriving require certain procedures to be done by a controller. At Dulles, it is a radar-equipped facility, meaning the tower has some sort of radar that can identify targets. An aircraft's initial call with tower would sound something like Dulles Tower, November 5661 Hotel, 21 miles to the southwest, Cessna 172, 2500, requesting touch and goes at Dulles. The response from the controller would be November 5661 Hotel, Dulles Tower, squawk 5644. This is a mode of radar identification. By assigning an aircraft a squawk code and observing the change with the aircraft squawking mode Charlie, it is a way of radar contacting the aircraft. Your response to the aircraft would be to radar contact them, as well as give them entry instructions into the airspace. For example, November 5661 Hotel, radar contact 20 miles southwest of Dulles Airport, cleared into the Washington Class Bravo airspace, enter left base, runway 1 left. Remember, you need to clear an aircraft to land. For example, the phraseology would be November 5661 Hotel, runway 1 left, clear touch and go. Something else you can clear an aircraft for is called the option. The option consists of touch and goes, low approach, missed approach, stop and go, and full stop, at the discretion of the pilot. By clearing an aircraft for the option, it clears them for any one of these 5 options. If you are busy, it may be best to clear an aircraft for a touch and go rather than the option, as now you know what the aircraft will be doing. For a VFR aircraft that are staying in the pattern, there are a few changes to the phraseology when you clear the aircraft for takeoff. For example, the phraseology would be November 5661 Hotel, wind 360 at 8, make left close traffic, runway 1 left, clear for takeoff. You can also add on the instruction report midfield downwind. This tells the aircraft to advise when he or she is crossing midfield on their downwind leg. This can serve as a reminder that you need to give an instruction to that aircraft to land. If a VFR aircraft is departing the airport and not remaining in the pattern, the phraseology is very similar to IFR departure phraseology. However, you will need to give them a direction of departure. This is how a VFR aircraft will leave the tower's airspace. Some examples are runway heading, left crosswind, and left downwind departures. For example, November 5661 Hotel, wind 360 at 8, left crosswind departure approved, runway 1 left, clear for takeoff. This instructs the aircraft to depart the airspace on their crosswind leg. If a VFR aircraft leaving the airport requests flight following, it is your responsibility to hand them off to the departure controller. If they would not like flight following, you can switch the aircraft over to Unicom on 122.8. Sometimes you will have VFR traffic in the pattern as well as IFR arrivals. This will require some sequencing skills to be utilized. The most important part of this is IFR traffic has priority over VFR traffic. Because of this, tower controllers have tools that can be used to fit VFR aircraft in between IFR arrivals. This will have the aircraft continue to fly said leg until you tell them to turn their next leg. This can be done with all legs except for the base and final. The phraseology would be November 5661 Hotel, extend your downwind, I'll call your base. To tell an aircraft to turn the next leg of the traffic pattern, tell them November 5661 Hotel, turn base. Another tool controllers use to create space is to make aircraft do 360s, or turns. This will instruct the aircraft to do a 360-degree turn and gives you more time and space for sequencing. The phraseology would be November 5661 Hotel, make left 360 for sequencing. You can also add on the instruction until advised. This will have them continuously doing a left or right 360 until you tell them to stop. You can also use traffic pointouts to help you sequence traffic. call sign, traffic, position of clock, miles, direction of travel, aircraft type, and altitude. If any one of these is not known, you would skip that part of the traffic point out. For example, November 5661 Hotel, traffic 2 o'clock, 3 miles, final, runway 1 right, Boeing 737, altitude indicates 1,300. If the aircraft receiving the traffic point out reports traffic in sight, November 5661 Hotel, follow that traffic, number 2, runway 1 right, clear to land. I hope this has been helpful for your understanding of VFR Tower Operations. If you have any questions, bring them to a facility mentor or instructor for clarification. Thank you for being a part of the VATSIM Washington, D.C. ARTCC.